Hello, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are hearing us from. Welcome to Akonuche Relationship Talks. My name is Emmanuel Akonuche, your sales and relationship therapist. Okay, today we are going to talk about red flags in a relationship. What is red flag in a relationship? What are the red flags in a relationship? We have two types of flags. We have what we call yellow flag in a relationship. We have what we call red flags in a relationship. Okay, often you might be hearing people talking about red flags. Are red flags a reason to walk away from somebody? Or are they something that you need to address going further? People often talk about red flags. Are they really the same to everyone? Are they reason to walk away, or does it make sense to stay back? Does it make sense to stay back and try to address those issues? This is what we have to find out today. Like the name implies, is red signals danger. Even while you are driving your motor on a highway, you see red, you will see danger. It will show you that there is danger ahead. In game of sports, in football, whenever a red flag is waved, red flag is used to halt a game of play. When probably a player fouled the other player, it is used to put a football player on a halt. Okay, like we have yellow card in football match, in football games, we have yellow card, we have red card. Yellow card, when a player is given yellow card, it shows that that person is being warned to take precaution. It is a precautionary measure on a player to be serious, to avoid certain errors that may lead to him or her being sent off. But when a red card is being issued to any player, it automatically means you should go, leave the football pitch. You no longer need to play here again. So you see it red, danger, yellow, precautionary, take caution, and all the rest of them. Okay, so even also, again, in this thing, a car race, whenever a red flag is waved on a car race rider, it signals that there is danger ahead. It signals that if you proceed in that direction, you may meet a danger ahead of you. So that is a caution, telling the rider that there is danger ahead of you. So you have to stop and never to move further. So that is that. So in a relationship, there are signs in a relationship that the person probably can't make a healthy relationship. Red flags are signs that probably means you can make a healthy relationships, and proceeding down the line after you must have seen those red flags, it can amount to it can become emotionally dangerous if you should proceed after seeing those signs. But note, red flag in a relationship might not be obvious. Okay, it might not be obvious. Some are clear. Why some are clear and some are not too clear? You get, many might present as a hint to a looming problem, as a hint to an underlying problem. Sometimes red flags takes it it takes time for a red flag to surface in a relationship. Okay, so there are differences between a red flag and a yellow flag. Okay, there is a difference between a red flag and a yellow flag. Please, to those of you that are joining us, this is Akonuche Relationship Talks. Okay, we are talking about red flags in a relationship, difference between red flags and the yellow flags, and signs of red flag, and when you should try considering quitting a relationship, when you should know that relationship is no longer healthy for you to continue, and all the rest of them. So I think you have to get your pen and your writing materials, your system, so that you can write down some of those things. Now we're going to look into differences between a red flag and a yellow flag in a relationship. It is important to understand the difference between a red flag and a yellow flag in a relationship. Automatically, red flags indicate reason to cease or to back away from a relationship. Reasons to back away, to cease being in a relationship. That is the work of a red flag. Okay? While yellow flags are less severe, red flags are natural, like it is universal in nature. Red flags are universal in nature, whereas yellow flags varies from individuals' wants and needs in a relationship to the other. Something that might be seen as a red flag, or something that might be seen as a yellow flag in relationship to Chiamaka might not necessarily be what is seen as a yellow flag to Precious. Okay, so it varies from individual to individual. But red flag is universal. It is universal in nature. Red flag in a relationship is a red flag. There is nothing like varies and not varies. It is what it is. Okay? So today, according to Dr. Wendy Walsh, yellow flag might include difficulty in an emotional communication. Yellow flag might imply this difficulty in an emotional communication. Here, a partner might be finding it very, very difficult to communicate with his or her partner. They might find it difficult to communicate, and they are aware of this, their inability, and they are fighting so hard. They are fighting so hard to address it. That is yellow flag. But a red flag on its own might have histories of domestic violence, chronic cheating, and some other substance of abuses. Do you understand? The red flag might have a history of chronic cheating, domestic violence, and substances of abuses. Okay? A yellow flag, lack of communication, emotional communication. You might call your partner, maybe she didn't call you back. You might stay, you wish to hear from your partner. You just sent her a text. Hey guys, hey babes, hope you've had your lunch. I'm missing you. I wish I'm around to have taken her out for a lunch. You send that message thinking that your partner will reply you, because there is joy when you message your partner, he or she replies you. But in this yellow flag of a thing, you will message your partner, you will call him or her, they won't pick, they won't call you back. You will message them, they won't pick, they won't reply you, they won't reply you. There is this hurt you feel because the reply you were expecting from them, they did not give you. Okay? But they might be aware of this, and they might also be trying to work on it. You understand? But this red flag of a thing that has history of chronic cheating, domestic violence, and other substance of abuses, these are pure red flags in a relationship. They cannot be amended, they cannot be changed. According to Wendy Walsh, a man or a woman who cheats today and apologizes, cheat tomorrow and apologizes, we still cheat the following day. They cannot change. It's like something that is inborn in somebody. Cheating is an inborn something. They can't change. Anybody who is a cheat will remain a cheat. They doesn't change. Let's quickly look into signs, or should I say signs of red flag things, like 10 red flags you should be aware of. 10 red flags you should be aware of in your relationship. Okay, number one there, though, these red flags are not limited to these 10 alone, but we are going to be looking into these 10 today. Okay, so number one on the list there is persistent jealousy and the distrust. Persistent jealousy and the distrust. According to True Bond, Ember True Bond, he says that jealousy are always signs of red flag. In fact, it's a typical red flag in every relationship. Though jealousy at times is also a tool for a healthy relationship. But when the jealousy becomes persistent, it now bridges communication. It now starts to bring a kind of mistrust, distrust, questioning everything, being excessive jealousy without any reason, being unnecessarily secured, is a typical sign of a red flag in a relationship. When your partner always pays attention in anything you say, when your partner always gives this high level of attentiveness in everything you say, and they will not say anything, according to True Bond, beneath those high level of attentiveness, beneath those high level of attention being given to you by your partner, there are some things hiding under them. Sometimes they will take time to be unleashing it one by one, one by one, one by one. So when a partner always gives you, this high level of attentiveness and attention, when you're trying to make some points and they will not question you, they will not even try to do as if they are hearing what you are saying, there are some things that are hidden beneath that they may not try to let you know. So the next in line, I think the second one is a case of history of infertility. History of infidelity. This is according to Isadora Arman. Infidelity, I think, is the highest destructive tool of any relationship or marriage. When a man or a woman cheats on you, they are caught. Maybe you caught them, they apologize. Tomorrow they still do it again. Maybe you catch them, they also apologize. There are 100% tendency that they will still cheat on you again tomorrow. A cheat is a cheat. That does not change. Don't let anybody to confuse you like, hey, he will change you, or she will change. With time, they will change, and we make him or her to change. They doesn't change. They are like gamblers. A typical gambler does not stop gambling. A typical gambler does not change. They always gamble. This is the same thing with a chronic cheat. Someone that has history of cheating, history of infidelity, they doesn't change. And when your partner starts to cheat on you, there is this high level of distrust, this high level of insecurity that will grace your relationship. You will reduce the percentage of trust you have on such partner. You will reduce the percentage of, how do I put it, the level of, confidence you have on such partner, because you no longer trust them 100%. Because such person can commit something, you might be here defending him or her. They will come and prove your defense wrong. So you will find it absolutely difficult to be defending such persons because of their past experiences. So, my listeners, whenever you start encountering, this history of cheating from your partner, it is a typical red flag. And I think you should consider quitting because it is no longer healthy for you. Number 3 is misplaced relationship goals. Okay? In a relationship, yes, relationship goals are not meant to be odd. If you are dating Mr. A has a typical relationship goals different from your own. Okay? Maybe you believe that couples should marry and give birth to kids. She doesn't believe in childbearing. In fact, your partner will wake up one day, they will be like, I don't like family life. I don't even like getting married. In fact, I don't even like going to marriage, to wedding ceremonies and all that. Wedding ceremonies reminds me of hate, because while growing up, my father and my mom, they were having some marital issues. So anytime I see people talking about marriage, it used to give me these goosebumps. I don't like it, stuff like that. They are wrong for your life. A man who hates family life, a man who does not like marriage and family life cannot be in a marriage. And you are dating such person, automatically you will find out that you are there wasting your time and your energy. And such person will finally waste your time, your energy. You will see that the relationship is not going front, it's not going back, it's just stagnant. So Isadora Arman at this point advises that you have a talk with your partner and know what they really want. If their goals keep on going at odd opposites with your own, it's advisable that you quit such a relationship. Another one is, I think, violence display. any slight thing, your partner will start displaying some violent attitude towards you. Any small thing, they will show this anger or violence. They display violence on you. They display violence on your loved ones. They display violence on on a bus junction, on bus drivers, their colleagues in the office, even their church members. They display violence practically everywhere, even to animals. Imagine somebody, maybe you see a pet, maybe a pet is not a human being. Their senses are not the same thing with your own. So you see your partner kicking pet, manhandling pet rather, as if they are human beings. Such person is a no-no for you, because typically that person have not been able to establish a healthy channel through which he can channel his emotions. Typically, the person doesn't even have a kind of sympathy for others. He always talks about himself, because somebody that loves others, that cares for you, that respects you, will not automatically be, being violent to you at the slightest thing. So if your partner is always violent, he always takes things violently without any cause. At any slight thing, he will display violence. At any slight thing, he will display violence. This is a typical sign of a red flag. And it is advisable that you slow down, talk to yourself, talk to them, and now know if you walk away or you will continue with such relationship. The other one is alcoholism. I think the sixth one, alcoholism and the drug addiction. If your partner now resort to high intake, in fact, they now have a reliance on drugs, smokes, and drinks. Okay? They no longer find comfort discussing their emotions with you. They no longer find comfort discussing how they feel with you. They now take to alcoholism, drug addiction, maybe to quench their thirst for emotion. This is a red flag for you. And especially when such partner was not like this before. Initially, he or she wasn't like this before. They were always sharing how they feel, trying to hear from you, getting a kind of advice from you. This companionship was so tight. They always fall back to you at their last resort. And not at their last resort alone, as their main focus anytime they are having some emotional challenges. But all of a sudden, such partners now resort to intake of alcoholism, smoking and hard drugs. Okay? They no longer care how you feel. Anytime they are angry, anytime they are having some emotional trauma, anytime they have some tedious work to do at their working place, they now come back home, resort to alcoholism, drugs, and that is the only thing that makes them feel better, my dear. That is a typical red flag for you. You choose to either continue being in such a relationship or you back away, because Dr. Walsh, he warned that one day such person might take those alcohol, those drugs, and you will become his last resort of punching. Death might be your destination. So it's rather better you quit than to see yourself being killed by a partner in a relationship. Another sign of a red flag that you have to be aware of in a relationship is controlling nature. If your partner always controls you, he controls how you spend your money, the kind of businesses you invest on, the places you go, whom you talk to, in fact, practically how you live your wife, that is a sign of red flag, and you have to consider quitting such marriage. But Isadora Aman also warns that if, as a partner, you want to visit your opposite sex, that it is advisable that you let your partner know, so that they will also know should anything abnormal happen, they will know how to address the issue. You can't just, as a woman or as a man, you wish to visit maybe your colleague in church, your colleague in the working place, or your church member or whoever, without the knowledge and the consent of your partner. If, for instance, as a woman, you want to visit a male colleague or a male friend outside your partner, okay, when you get there, you didn't tell your partner you were going there in the first place. So when you get there now, Maybe the person might resort to, the visitation might resort to other kind of abuses, insult, maybe trying to rape and all those sexual harassment, and you didn't inform your partner earlier before going. He might try to believe himself that, okay, this was your plan, you went there, you have your phone, and you're not telling me that he was trying to rape you. But if initially you told him or her before going, they will be on the known, okay, this is what you do. You wanted to rape my partner, you wanted to do this and that. Understand? So it is advisable that when you want to visit your opposite sex, you have to also consider the sensibility of your partner. You have to let them know, so that they can also be of defense to you should anything go wrong. Okay. Another one is stories of crazy else's. Okay. It is advisable that at a stage in a relationship, you should stop mentioning your stories and your history with your ex-relationships, your ex-lovers and all that. But at the beginning of every relationship, if you must make mention of any of your else's, the way you talk about them being crazy, maybe your relationship had an issue, you blame practically everything on them, any sensible person should at least take 50% of blame of any failed relationship. If you keep on blaming them, they were the one at fault, you were the righteous person, you were the good person, they were the bad person, if your partner keeps doing this, I think that should be a typical red flag for you too. Because anybody who was once in love with a demon should have at least remembered that there was a time that demon was also good to him or her. They shouldn't typically be addressing that demon as a demon, he was this, he was that. If you must make mention of your ex, it mustn't be in a crazy way. You must also tell your partner how good he was to a certain point. This is at the early stage of a relationship. When your relationship keep on moving to a point, everything concerning former relationship should be on the absence. Let the past be at the past. You should stop bringing your past relationship stories to your present relationship stories. Everybody is a jealous being. They might try to misunderstand you. It may cause an issue. And to you, if your ex always talk crazy about their if your prospective partner always talks about crazy about their ex, crazy things about their ex, this and that, know you also that you might be the next ex, and you might also be the next crazy ex. Okay? So you should also try to observe if your partner always puts some respect to their ex while addressing them. If they don't, that is a red flag. And you should also know that one day you too can turn to ex. Not only being an ex, you will turn to one of those crazy exes that she always tell you about. Another one is lack of emotional intimacy. Okay? A partner who shows no interest in opening up and bonding. She likes to keep secret. He or she they like to keep secrets. They don't like sharing how they feel with others. They like to have it at the back of their mind, only them. If you ask them, maybe if you notice that their mood have changed, you will be like, what's wrong with you? Babe, what's wrong with you? They'll be like, no, we are fine. But right inside them, they are not fine. You understand? So if your partner always try to solve issues alone by themselves, they don't like you to know how they feel, and all the rest of them, they don't like it. Like most of them, they don't like being open to anybody, even to those people that are closer to them, including you, their partner. That is a red flag for them. Because such person might have one day an issue that needs help from outside people, and she tried to address it alone by herself, by his or herself, and he or she couldn't. That is where you see some people committing suicide. You see some people being in deep depression because they have failed to let people know what they're passing through. So if your partner is always this kind of secretive person, he or she, dwells in this high level of secrecy and all that, they doesn't like to open up, they don't do things except to find out by yourself, it's a red flag for you. You should call yourself to order and know if you are to continue with that relationship or you are to back out. Another one is that they always give you their time. Did you hear what I said? They always give you all their time. If your partner doesn't have any other friendship aside from you, it's a red flag. They don't have hobby. They doesn't go to PlayStations to play game. He doesn't watch movies. He doesn't read newspapers. He doesn't read books. He doesn't, go out. He doesn't hang out with anybody. It's only you. Anytime he's angry, he depends on you for happiness. It's a red flag, because such partner might have some emotional issues one day, and he might try to fall back to you being the only source of his happiness, his or her happiness. And maybe at the point they came to you, you too is also having your own issues and challenges. You didn't give them the attention they need at that point. What do you think will happen? You have disappointed them, right? And before you know it, issues might start to occur in your relationship that might take you weeks, months to address. So if your partner, they are this kind of people that they doesn't have hobbies, they don't have things they normally take their time on. They don't, normally every time it's you. They stalk you with conversations and all that. It's a red flag for you, because one day definitely you are going to disappoint them one day. That attention, care, and love they are looking for might not necessarily be there. You might be sick, having headache, you are having fever, you are not feeling strong. You also need petting at that time, and they are coming to you for their own petting and all that. Nothing else to divert their attention from you. Nothing else to take their time on. They don't do any other thing apart from you. There's a red flag for you. So you try to encourage them to try to engage their mindset on certain things, try to engage their mind on some things, to know if actually they can put their time on certain things, not solely on you alone, depending on you alone for happiness. Okay? Depending on you alone for happiness all the time. So if he doesn't change, he doesn't want to occupy his mind, his time with some other things to make himself happy other than you, there is a red flag. And such relationship need to be evaluated. If you try talking to them, they don't seem to change. My dear, Dr. Walsh advises that you quit that relationship. Okay? Another one is no friends. Okay, they don't have friends. They don't normally make friends. They don't have people they normally talk to. They always move out alone. They talk alone. Every time, only them. You should try to find out, why is it that my partner doesn't have any friend he or she talks to? He is always alone. Why? If you try to find out that such partner didn't have or haven't had any case of distrust, any case of denial, betrayal, broken heart, failed relationship before, they don't have all these histories at all. It's just them. They find it very difficult to bond with people and have that kind of companionship, that kind of relationship with people. They don't have time for those things. They always stay on their own. You should also know that you too, coming into his or her life, might also find it very, very difficult to bond with them. If such person doesn't have somebody they call their friend today, you should also know that you might find it extremely difficult to bond with such people. So you should take your time and know if really you are aware to be in a relationship with only yourself. If really you are aware to be in a relationship with a man or woman who doesn't really like this communication, crazy companionship, this crazy closeness and all that. Every time he like being on his own, stuff like that. If you evaluate it, I know that you can't cope with such a relationship. You can't cope in such environment. You can't cope with such situations and circumstances. It is advisable that you quit. This is a typical sign of a red flag in a relationship. So I think we have been able to treat some of all those things, So in your relationship today, you should try and know if these red flags are present in your relationship today. You should try and know if they are there. You try and see if you can work on them. If you cannot, it is advisable that you walk away from such relationship. Try to know the difference between red flags in a relationship, and then yellow flags in a relationship. Some yellow flags too can metamorphose, they become red flags if left unattended to. Okay, so you should try your best and evaluate your relationship today. Relationship naturally is meant to be a security house. It's meant to be, if you are lacking in this area of emotion, when you come back into your relationship, everybody will bound, everybody will be happy. That is the only place, the number one place your happiness should be secured. But if your relationship is a place where your happiness is, in fact, that is where your problem starts from, it is advisable that you quit from such relationship. Nobody should be in a relationship that does not put his or her happiness first before every other thing. Your happiness should be the paramount of every relationship. So today, I want to thank all of you listening to us today, to try and subscribe to our YouTube channels, Akonuche Relationship Talks, share our videos, like our videos, comment on our videos, and then share to your friends. Tell your friends to like, as we be from time to time, weekly basis, we'll be taking you on some lectures on how to sustain your relationship, and then how to avoid some heartbreaks, some emotional trauma that might pose as an emotional challenge to you as an individual. So thank you all for having your time with us. Remember, and always remember, always remember to tell your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Akonuche Relationship Talks. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your church members, even your community leaders, tell them. Anywhere you are in the world, you'll be hearing from us. So just try and subscribe and share our contents. God bless you.